parties to reach an agreement.
The honourable member for Kildonan St. Paul.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister promised he would negotiate a win with President Trump and have a deal by July 21st, but there's been no win and there is no deal. Major U.S. tariffs on Canada have doubled, and the Prime Minister has repeatedly conceded to Americans' demands. Now his office is telling media that all steel and aluminum tariffs may be lifted tomorrow, finally. But what about the auto sector, Mr. Speaker? Thousands of jobs are at risk. GM is cutting. Stellantis has idled its Windsor plant and moved $10 billion of investment to the U.S. Will the Prime Minister's long-promised, long-overdue deal include an end to U.S. tariffs on Canadian autos? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians elected this government to protect, build and transform our economy. We are protecting and supporting our industries through the new $5 billion Strategic Response Fund, the $1 billion Tariff Release Initiative, which will give thousands of Canadian businesses financial support to access new global markets. We are building Canada with new nation-building projects, which will lead to thousands of new careers in skilled trades across Canada. And we are transforming our economy by unlocking new market opportunities so that Canadian businesses have preferential access to fast-growing regions around the world. Mr. Speaker, we are laser-focused in building Canada strong.
The honourable member for Kildonan St. Paul.
The Prime Minister has been full of contradictions over this whole tariff ordeal, Mr. Speaker. He blames U.S. tariffs for shrinking the economy and job losses, but he also says Canada's getting a great deal with the U.S. on tariffs. But since the Prime Minister took office, the deficit has doubled. Canada has the fastest shrinking G7 economy with the second highest unemployment rate. $54 billion of net investment has left Canada, and 86,000 Canadians have lost their jobs. So when is the Prime Minister going to start delivering on his rhetoric? When are we going to get results, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister gave 22 million Canadians a tax cut for families to put more money in their pocket. The Prime Minister is right now has a team negotiating with the United States to make sure that we protect Canada's position as the best country in the world with the lowest tariff rates. We are building the economy of the future together. I know the honourable member will support that.
The honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister promised to, quote, negotiate a win with President Trump by July 21st. Still no win and still no deal. Because this Prime Minister failed to negotiate a deal, U.S. tariffs on Canadian softwood have jumped to 35% this summer, and next week they'll jump to 45%. Since 2015 in BC, 29 mills have closed, and we've lost over 68,000 jobs. For the sake of all British Columbians, will the Prime Minister finally get a deal done and end U.S. tariffs on softwood lumber?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we're working extremely hard to open up new markets right across the country and around the world, Mr. Speaker. 96% of agriculture products are moving tariff-free across the border into the U.S. We're proud of that, Mr. Speaker. We're going to stand alongside our farmers. We signed a new bilateral agreement with Indonesia, Mr. Speaker, and we're continuing to work hard. Next week, Mr. Speaker, when a lot of people from this House will be put their feet up, we'll be in Mexico working on more deals. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for North Island, Powell River.
The Prime Minister promised to, quote, negotiate a win with President Trump. He promised a deal by July 21st. Well, it's October, still no deal, still no win. Instead, tariffs on Canada have doubled. But now we hear the PMO is reportedly telling media that tomorrow all steel and aluminum tariffs will be lifted. But what about lumber? U.S. lumber tariffs on Canada have increased by more than 100%. Jobs have been lost. Mills have been closed. Will the Prime Minister's long overdue deal tomorrow include an end to tariffs on Canada's incredible forest industry? Yes or no?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, we've been clear that U.S. tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber are absolutely unjustified, and we are working at every level to resolve the softwood lumber dispute. To date, we have announced more than $50 million in income supports for more workers, $700 million in loan guarantees, and $500 million in capital investments to make the industry more competitive and retool it for the future, including to build more Canadian homes. We will buy Canadian, we are ready to build, and we are changing federal procurement processes to require companies contracting with the federal government to procure Canadian lumber. This is how we build the strongest economy in the G7. That is how we win a trade war, one we did not ask for, but one we will not back down for.
The honourable member for North Island, Powell River.
I guess that's a no, Mr. Speaker. You know, the Prime Minister promised elbows up during the last election, said so far on Vancouver Island, all we've had are job losses, mill closures, and higher prices for virtually every good in our society. 54 billion has fled the country. 86,000 people have lost their jobs, and the entire coastal forest industry right now is on the brink of total collapse. Will the Prime Minister demand the lifting of tariffs on Canadian lumber and any trade deal with the United States, or is he preparing to throw our forestry workers and incredible forestry communities under the bus?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, we will always be there for forest workers, and that's why we have invested so heavily in them and will continue to do so. This trade war came to our shores, but we are going to finish it by being strong supporters of industry, strong supporters of Canadian workers, and making sure we get the job done.
Hear, hear.